Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Tiki Talka. That's Travis. I'm Joseph. Here's a quick preview of what we're talking about today. Oh my gosh, have Byron been robbed twice? I didn't know that having my hand out like this for a high five is a natural position.
Maybe the ref forgot his red card at home. I'm not sure.
When Harry Kane is screaming at you and getting in your face, you've done something really, really wrong. If they had different officiating crew, do you think Bayern wins that game?
Would you rather have Arsenal win the Champions League or the Premier League?
I've accepted the league. I refuse for them to do the double. It's funny to sing a song about conquering the entire world when they actually have it. Is Mbappe the kiss of death at Madrid right now?
You just added a Mento into a Coke bottle.
I see why girls like reality TV. Because if more football clubs had stuff like this going on, oh my gosh, this would be so fun.
There's a little petition going around, 73 million signatures to get Mbappe out of Real Madrid. If they don't want to be part of it, there's the door. I don't care who you are. All right, guys, as you can see, we're going to go over match week 36 recap. So we'll be talking about the Champions League results, controversies there, as well as the EPL. So why don't we start with Champions League, Joey? Arsenal and Atletico.
I had Atleti going through, and it almost happened, and then Saka scored, so good for him. And Atleti can't score, really, dude. I mean, they've been playing great football this season. A lot more exciting attacking football. Arsenal's just too good defensively, and there was just no way Atleti was going to get through them.
I had hope, man. Atleti was looking good, knocking out the teams that they knocked out, particularly Barca. I thought they had a chance here. It's not the Atleti of old where it's kind of boring. They do play on the front foot a little bit more. So I was hoping and praying, and even overtime to just exhaust Arsenal out a little bit more.
I think they just needed to hold Arsenal to 1-0 on their home leg. If Lookman could have just buried one of his like 3 chances he got last week, it would have been donezo. There was no way Arsenal was going to win this. Everyone knew how this game was going to be played. It was in Atleti's hands, and he just gave it to Arsenal. Let's see how exciting they are going to be. They are the most exciting club in Europe, according to Mikel Arteta, who's heard it from Luis Enrique and his staff. So I'm excited. Congrats, Arsenal. It's their first Champions League final in what, 20 years?
Yeah, 20 years.
Yeah. So
he was saying that Arsenal's the most entertaining team on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
That's what he's saying. Luis Enrique told him, and a staff member told him.
Yeah. New phone. Who dis?
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
No way. Absolutely not. I was listening to a Sky YouTube video the other day, and they were saying Jamie. So I don't know if it was Jamie Redknapp or Jamie Carragher. My guess is Carragher. But they were talking about Saka being a 200 million pound player.
Who?
You heard me.
Who?
Saka.
Who?
What are your thoughts? 200 million pounds.
You said Bukayo Saka's a 200 million pound player? So, like, what's Jude? What's Yamal?
They were talking about the comparison of, like, Mbappe. So he's like, okay, well, if this guy's 200 million, Mbappe's got to be like 240, 250. And I'm thinking in my head, he's got to be double that. He's got to be
World Cup winner Mbappe?
World Cup winner. Scored a brace in one, hat-trick in the other.
In a World Cup final, Mbappe? What has Saka done? Oh, he missed a penalty in the Euros, right? Okay.
Mbappe's got 41 goals. I mean, I don't do it. It's the English bias.
Is it English? It's like him and Cole Palmer on some kind of like just insane pedestal where they can do no wrong. They can be silent for weeks and months, and then they score once and 4 months. And the English media says these guys are the best in the world. There's no one like them. They're simply the best on the planet. It's like, guys, I don't know who you watch. Scoring one lazy tap, it does not make you the best on the planet. There's no way.
I couldn't agree more, dude. What are your thoughts now that Arsenal are pushing for the title? They're in the final of the Champions League. Does this cement Rice as the Ballon d'Or winner?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But people are going to ride that coattail, dude.
I think this season has been really weird. PSG is very, very good. And I think if their players just maybe played 3/4 of their league season instead of like 9 games apiece, they could be in the conversation because their attack is out of this world. They're so good. I think you can even throw Yao Neves and
Vitinha,
yeah. Yao Neves, Vitinha, you could even talk about them being in the conversation potentially, but them just sitting out PSG just basically telling Liga, "Hey, we're not going to play this week. We're too tired." And their opponents could say, "No, no, we want to play this week." And the league says, "No." PSG says so. So we're not going to. I would want to give it to Yamal, maybe, but he got hurt. Rafinha also got hurt. Unfortunately, I think if Harry Kane was able to get through, he's winning the Ballon d'Or. I think Harry Kane is the front runner for Ballon d'Or. It's just kind of unfortunate that all he has to show for it is German league trophies.
Does Bayern Munich losing hinder Harry Kane's ability to win the Ballon d'Or?
I think if Arsenal win, it does. Just because that's an English team, English players. Declan Rice has already talked about being the best in the world. So that's just more fuel to the fire. I think it should go to Harry Kane. This guy's been playing out of his mind. He's in his mid-30s now. He's still playing at a high level. You should give it to him. Not him, then maybe Olise, because he's equally as good. Maybe Musiala before he got battered in the summer.
They're in a dilemma right now because it also depends on how they perform in the World Cup. Let's say England go far or even win it. Who has the bigger claim, Rice or Kane? Because I do feel like it's going to be between those two if England take it all.
Well, Kane's captain. You got to give it to Harry Kane. If England does win this World Cup, it's going to be a Cannavaro situation where this whole team basically was playing out of their minds this season.
Are you saying Cannavaro didn't deserve it?
Cannavaro was great. Cannavaro was amazing that season.
Led the best defense in the World Cup.
Yeah, but Del Piero?
Del Piero at that time was hitting the end. He wasn't even starting.
I don't know, man.
Crucial goals, don't get me wrong. But Cannavaro, it does take something to like lead. And he's a little guy. So to be able to like break through on that ball to give it to Totti, who gave it to Del Piero to clinch the Germany win, it's got to count for something.
It does, and it counts because he's captain. So that's why you got to give it to Harry Kane.
Hater,
England wins the World Cup.
You can't give the Italians anything. We're already not in the World Cup. Damn it.
I would give them something if they could qualify for a World Cup. How about that?
Maybe next time.
Yeah, exactly. And when I think you talk to the big bad US about, playing in World Cup games, and then we could talk, all right?
Yeah. All right, guys, let's move on. We already kind of touched on it. As you may know, Bayern and PSG drew this last week. PSG goes through on aggregate 6-5. If you would have told me that PSG would have made it a back-to-back finals in the beginning of the year, I would have been like, okay. And then a couple of their players got hurt. I'm like, all right, maybe not. Then they've had the start of the season that they had. I'm like, definitely not.
Yeah.
They're not the PSG of last year. But it's like baseball, dude. They are getting hot at the right time. And they are just knocking people out in playoffs. And I did not have them getting past Liverpool, let alone this Bayern team, who I think was the best team in Europe.
We both didn't have them getting past Liverpool. This is exactly like you said, dude. This is just like baseball. The French league is so weak that their best players can just rest and only play 9 games for the entire season. And then they only play Champions League games. And then it starts picking up. And when you have these legs back to back, they're good. They're all really, really good. And I was really excited for this game. I thought it was going to be the closest game of all time. And then PSG scored 3 minutes in. I was like, all right, yeah, man, this game is done. And then, oh my gosh, have Byron been robbed twice, 2 handballs, dude. I can never understand the rule of you're my teammate, right? You clear the ball. My hand's out like this, and it slams right into my hand. That's not a handball. Sorry, I didn't know that having my hand out like this for a high five is a natural position as a player. So you're telling me I can just basically volleyball things?
If you guys didn't watch the game again, there was a few major controversies in this game, 2 of them being handballs. Now, here's what most people probably don't know, is that the 2 players that had the handballs were Portuguese. You have João Neves and Mendes. Guess what ethnicity the ref was? Portuguese. So I'm seeing some conspiracy theories that have been thrown out there. Do I believe them? I'm not much of a big conspiracy guy, but I don't see how Portugal benefits from this. Maybe it's just, hey, dude, give me a free ticket to your game. I don't know, but what are the chances? And the reason I say this is because they were pretty blatant. Now, the one that you were talking about was João Neves, and he has his hand out. The only reason I could think of having my hand out is if I'm telling my defender, clear it that way or hit it to that guy. So my hand's sticking out. I didn't really see that. That one, it can go either way. And the reason I say that is because he's clearing the ball. So there's no way that Bayern could have scored from that. Whereas like in other times when you're on a corner and you're defending and it hits your arm, you stop them from scoring. Like there's no way Bayern even had the ball and wasn't anywhere near it. So I could understand why he didn't give that one. But if I was on Bayern, yeah, I would have fought for that all day long. Other one, though, the Mendes one. Jesus.
That was
He
egregious.
clearly stuck his arm out to stop the ball from going on a counterattack break. To me, that's a yellow. If he was the last man, it would have been a straight red. He was already on a
He was
yellow.
already, yeah, so he didn't want to do it. He didn't want
That
to
would
do
have
it.
given him a second one, red card, out of the game. That alone would have given Bayern the advantage, and even without the second handball, to go on and win the game, in my opinion. I don't know if maybe the ref forgot his red card at home. I'm not sure.
He was such a coward, man. Game got away from him, immediately, dude. The João Neves handball handed just by itself, in isolation. Yeah, people talk about it, but a rule's a rule, right? So it's gonna be kind of just be blown, past. No one's gonna really care, right? PSG deserved to go through. Nuno Mendes and just say no, no, you're not going past me. You say I didn't see anything. That was crazy.
Right? He's like, you shall not
Yeah, it's
pass.
like no, I didn't know that. That's not a yellow. That's not a card for me. Like he didn't want to do. He didn't want to make the big call. He didn't want to do this. Here's the first. Oh wait, that was your second now, actually. And
Yeah,
send him off.
it seemed like he
You have
was
to do your
afraid to
job.
make that red card because then he would have gotten a lot of heat for having Bayern go through to the finals, and it's all because of the decision he made. But I do agree, these refs being handpicked to do these games based on their pre-qualifications and other matches, they got to be strong enough to make that call.
Have to be. That's why you get these games. You have to have the guts, the courage to make the hard calls, dude. You can't just do what's popular. It's gonna make your life easy. If you wanted to have an easy life, you shouldn't be, doing this then.
And people were complaining about VAR not getting involved, right? Particularly for the Mendes one. I don't know if they can because it wasn't a straight red. I think they could only get involved if it's a straight red card or
I
like
think, and
a
I think if it was
dangerous.
a yellow card, if he had made that decision to give him a second yellow, then they could get involved. But they can't get involved with the foul and say no, this is a yellow. Honestly, I think it's a second yellow. They can't get involved like that.
They squeezed by and they got away with this one.
Yeah, they did. It was a really great game. I thought Bayern was gonna equalize a lot earlier than they did, but when Harry Kane is screaming at you and getting in your face, you've done something really, really wrong. Because that's not who Harry Kane is. He's not that player at all. He was MFing that ref like crazy, dude. That was bad officiating. If they had different officiating crew, do you think Bayern wins that game?
Depends who the refs were. They could be just as bad, especially if you're getting an EPL ref, which I know you love so much. So it
I love him.
depends. Majority, though, I would say, yeah, I think they would have gotten a penalty and the red card. So I think that would have changed the outcome of the game. But you're right. It wasn't even just Kane. It was Kane and company. Both said something about the ref. And usually these are pretty classy guys, keeping to themselves, don't want to start any drama. And I'm not saying they did, but they actually had to say something. And I'm glad that they did. They grew a backbone, threw it in the face. I hope there's some sort of suspension or penalty for the ref. Not that we want anybody to lose their job, but you can't make those kind of errors. Nobody's perfect, but you can't have those kind of errors at that stage. To be
You can't do a bad job and then expect to be rewarded.
Harry Kane was hustling, and especially when Nicholas Jackson came in and Kane dropped to the 10, he was still putting in a shift, sliding every time he got knocked down. He got right back up. That's honorable. I'm not, a big Harry Kane fan, but he did really well. And I was underwhelmed from Elise. He had a couple of sparks, but I really thought he was going to turn it on and make a name for himself with the Ballon d'Or shout. But I didn't see it this game, man.
They underperformed. I think this team is good. They have kind of a good mix of experience and youth. The lights were a little too bright for these guys, man. Lucho played as best he could, but I think PSG had him figured out, and they were willing to take the risk on Elise not performing. And as good as Elise is, he's still so young. He had a bad game. He had a brilliant chance, man. Beautiful, and he 2 inches over the bar, and that was it. And then he didn't have a sniff for the rest of the game.
Seeing that we have PSG and Arsenal in the final, who do you have taking it all?
PSG. And if Arsenal are able to score first, that's going to really shake PSG because that lets them know that they are vulnerable already and they're not very good defensively. And if they can't, respond, within 10 minutes, like how they were against Bayern, it might be done and they might just start panicking and freaking out. But I want PSG to do it. Their attack is so good. I really want them to win, but I want them to win unless for Arsenal fans to just have less of a good time. I've accepted the league. I refuse for them to do the double. No.
I'm with you there, dude. I want PSG to win, and I think PSG will win. To do it back to back, that would be great for them too. But if I had to give you a would you rather have Arsenal win the Champions League or the Premier League?
Premier League. Because they've won the Premier League before. I enjoy them singing Ali, Ali, Ali when they've never won anything in Europe in their history. So it's funny to sing a song about conquering the entire world when they actually haven't.
How cool would it be to be like, oh, you still haven't won the Champions League, right?
So satisfying.
Yeah. Before we move on to EPL, let's talk real quick about all the chaos that's happening over at Madrid.
Where do you want to begin, dude? I see why girls like reality TV. Because if more football clubs had stuff like this going on, oh my gosh, this would be so fun.
I don't know what to say. It's a loss of words. To be at this level and have all the lights on you, how do you just lose it? And I know there are a bunch of young guys. They're all young to mid-20s, but you got to have some composure. And just because Casemiro, Modric, Cruz are all out of the club, but you still have Carvajal, who's a senior figurehead. I don't understand how they just lost it.
I think you can't even say they're young to mid-20-year-old. They've won Champions League before. They've been there long enough to, how to be professionals. 2 days in a row, the captain goes to the hospital.
Of all people, one, you're the captain. You got to level that shit out. Two, it's Valverde. Like, out of all people, all the yappers that they have on the squad, him? I'm at a loss for words.
And now there's rumors that heavy hitters within the club are requesting that he be sold.
Requesting who be sold?
Valverde.
Interesting.
So, I mean...
So it sounds like they're taking Tchouameni's side, huh?
Well, it sounds like Air Dictator Mbappe is getting his way and, just saying, I don't like...
Fellow Frenchmen. Yes, that's right.
I must protect my Frenchmen. I don't like this toy anymore. Be gone with him. Give me someone else, Papa Perez.
Well, I'm glad you brought him up, dude. I'm glad you brought him up because for those that don't know, there's a little petition going around to get Mbappe out of Madrid. Now, the first time I saw this, their goal was to have 200,000 signatures. I just checked before we started recording. This is on a Monday, guys. Guess how many they have?
4 million.
73 million signatures. Let me repeat that. 73 million signatures to get Mbappe out of Real Madrid.
I think that's more than any humanitarian cause ever.
Wild. Now, he's their top goal scorer. I can see why Madrid would want to keep him. I could also see why they would want to let him go. Because I don't want to say I have a crystal ball, but I saw this happening. I saw people not being happy with him, his work rate, his antics drama, him not getting along with Vinny. It was pretty obvious.
Yep.
But if you're Perez trying to do a Galacticos era again, no stopping him.
You have to go get him, dude. I mean, he's the next best French player, right? This guy's great. Literally just a Champions League away from a Ballon d'Or. I think he just puts up great numbers in whatever league he's in. They're going to give it to him. I mean, he's been the golden child for ever, man. I mean, since he was at Monaco, this guy's been the next big thing, but he's just kind of a bitch. He just can't get along with anybody. Every manager that comes through, he just doesn't like him. When he was at PSG, they brought in Neymar, they brought in Messi. Cannot do a thing at all. Didn't matter who was on that PSG side. As long as he was there, he was like the touch of death. You're not winning the Champions League. Yes, to Madrid. Here's where you're supposed to be winning the Champions League. Ballon d'Or, it's here for you. They haven't won a single trophy. Here's my question for you. Is Mbappe the kiss of death at Madrid right now? Or is there bigger problems going on?
Bigger problems. I think this was stewing long before Mbappe, but you just added a Mento into a Coke bottle. So what did you guys expect? This is Madrid. They handled the drama. Dude, even some influencers, have you seen it? It's like the secret live of Moron Wife. They changed it and put like all the Madrid players' faces. So it's like the secret lives of Real Madrid players. They're all in dresses. It's hilarious, dude, because it's like, that is them.
Yeah.
You hit the nail on the head. This is a reality show.
Yeah.
It's drama 101. It's embarrassing.
It's so awesome.
Personally, I think one of them is going to go. It's going to probably be Vinny. It also depends on which manager comes in. The whole link with Jose, I'm not happy about it. But one thing he will do is he will whip them into shape real quick as far as their attitudes go. And if not, if they don't want to be part of it, there's the door. I don't care who you are. He has that kind of attitude and charisma. So maybe that's why Perez wants to bring him in. But as far as style of play goes, oof.
This is more of a business now, right? Madrid's going to make a bunch of money just because they're Real Madrid. I don't think they necessarily need to win anything anymore. That tournament money, right? That bonus, that prize money is great. That's awesome. They're making a lot of money from merchandise. They're making a lot of money from TV deals. They're rolling in dough. And they have to be selling out every single game. I just don't buy into them like really wanting to be in a serious football club right now, especially you're bringing Jose Mourinho. They didn't listen to Xavi. Why are they going to listen to Jose?
Well, has a much longer career than Xavi, and he's brought more success in the game, and particularly at Madrid, than Xavi. And he just had an invincible season. Although he didn't win at Benfica, he had an invincible season, and he broke 100 points when he was at Madrid the first time.
Yeah.
So is it effective? Sure. Is it boring? Absolutely. And the way that he plays by parking the bus and doing counterattack, Mbappe doesn't have to track back. He just chill up there like Drogba used to and just either hold it up or they just kick it over and he'll go for a long ball and use his speed. So Mbappe actually might like it, which is what I'm worried about. But Vinny won't, and the rest of the players might have a hard time. The next one I want to talk about was Rudiger. It looked like they were having fun, but I guess it was actually serious where he slapped one of the assistant coaches during training.
He slapped one of the young players.
Well, he got in a physical altercation with Alvaro Carreras.
Yeah.
Like, that's 2 instances, bro, in a span of a week. And you're
Tony Rudiger acting erratic and violent? No way.
he's older. He's got to be one of the leaders, and I'm not saying that he needs to wear the armband, but he's got to have a level of maturity, even if these kids are being dumb. Like,
You got to be
who
better than
slaps
this.
their assistant coach? If you do that in any other profession, you're out of here. What is happening?
David Alaba is just checked out at this point too. He's like, all right, you guys do what you want to do too here. Danny Carvajal, I'm sure he's on that same boat too. It's like, I'm done. These are all young kids. They all have crap attitudes. It's not like when I was, here in the glory days. He's been there for a long time, man.
Very long time.
He's been there when they three-peated, when they were just utterly dominant. I mean, now
And it arguably had bigger egos than now.
had to have
Definitely better
much bigger
players.
egos, but they were willing to play with each other. I think that's the difference. And these guys just refuse to play with each other because they have to be the it guy. And I think when it was that time in Madrid, everyone knew that Ronaldo was the number one man. And here at Madrid, there's not really a number one guy because no one's really just said, no, I am the best guy. They they don't to command the ball like Ronaldo or Messi did. These guys aren't top 10 in football history.
I'm iffy about making this next statement, but who cares? I'm going to say it anyways. You know who this reminds me of with the bad attitudes? I'll describe this and see if you can guess who I'm thinking of. There's a link between Mbappe and this person. There's also a link between Vinny and this person. And although there are other people on the team that have egos and whatnot, these two are arguably the biggest drama queens and divas. But there's one player that is a common denominator between these two that has played with these two, and they're acting just like him. Do you know who I'm describing?
That can't be Neymar, dude. No way. No way.
Neymar comes to name. And I'm not trying to be a Neymar hater, but who else was a diva? Who else wanted the glory and left the best thing? When he went to PSG for the biggest transfer fee and had everything go his way until Mbappe got there. Mbappe, if you remember him, when he was young at Monaco, he worked his ass off. He was running both sides of the pitch, trying to make a name for himself so he can get to Real Madrid. However, once he came into contact and played with Neymar and they were best friends for a while, his attitude shifted. And again, I'm not going to blame Neymar completely, but you do get influenced by some of these people you hang around with. And after a while, they had a falling out. They were stopped being friends. Well, guess what? Vinny looks up to Neymar as well. So now he's starting to act like him too. Really strange, right? For not even hitting the heights that Neymar hit, to be acting like him. I don't even like the way Neymar acted in general, but it's almost giving cancer-ish vibes.
Yeah,
And I don't like that,
you're
man.
locker room cancer. Yeah, that's true. You're not being a Neymar hater. You're just pointing out. You're making an observation.
Observation.
You're just making an observation. Isn't it funny that they both played with this guy? We're pretty tight with him, and they just kind of keep acting like him. And I mean, Neymar should have never left Barcelona. If he just stayed and waited for Messi to have an offish year, he would have definitely won a Ballon d'Or. But he thought he was bigger than everything, dude. And he goes PSG, doesn't really do well, can't win a Ballon d'Or, can't win a Champions League. Gets Mbappe, who's supposed to fix everything. And then he just ruins him. And I think Vinny's always had a bad attitude. So I can't really give Neymar credit for ruining Vinny's attitude. But I think since Vinny's gotten more famous and is coming in more and more regular contact with Neymar,
Yeah, I think Vinny also always had a bad attitude, but this just seems a little bit more amplified.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. Well, that's enough about Europe. So let's move to the Prem. How about your boys? Liverpool, Chelsea, 1-1 draw.
I got up for this game. This game was on at 30 a.m. our time. And I said, you know what? Chelsea's not doing very well. They have a new interim manager. Checked the team sheet when it came out. No words anywhere to be found. And I said, oh boy, Gakpo starting at the 9. Let's go, baby. And then we scored in the 6th minute. And I said, okay, we're going to figure it out. And then Gakpo didn't touch the ball for over 20 minutes. And then I don't know what I saw on this free kick. I can't understand how G let this in, but he did. I don't want to get on Philly, but my brother in Christ, you seem to have a stinker a game that cost us a goal, and then you turn it on. Don't know if he realizes this, but that has to stop.
I told you he wasn't looking like a number one to me.
He got lucky. Palmer's goal got called off, dude.
Well, the big thing that I wanted to talk about on this game was the booing. And you were up for this game, so I'm sure you heard it. When they subbed off Rio instead of Gakpo, I heard the Liverpool fans just went nuts and were booing Slot. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
This guy was working his tail off, had a good game. Gakpo has barely done anything, and he's still on the pitch. Now, this is something that is funny because you've been telling me that all season, that he keeps Gakpo on instead of putting Rio or something like that. Is it the Dutch connection? Again, not trying to be conspiracy theorist, but where's the move there?
Don't know, man. Gakpo works well when he has a winger that you can rotate him with, and someone that will take their man on. That's why him and Lucho work so well. Gakpo's good. He can play all across the front three. He's got that kind of skill set, but this season's been bad. No one's looked like they've been on it at all, especially him. And it sucks because he plays every single game for what feels like, all 90 every time. I saw this graphic and it was the top 5 youngest assisters in Premier League history. And Rio made that list. And he was on alongside Raheem Sterling and Michael Owen. 2 amazing young Liverpool players, in the history of the club. But they both have a common theme, and they were burnt out at a very young age in their careers. So to give Slot some credit in a long-winded way, I guess it's fine you don't play Rio as much because you do want this young guy to have a full career and be good. But after losing to PSV 4-0 at home, you start playing him maybe around the 65th or 70th minute if Gakpo hasn't scored or assisted at all in that game. That's what a manager starts doing. But he didn't do that. Gakpo can play on the 9, so you can swap him with that Katika. You could have done that all season.
I'm glad you said that because now it's recorded.
Yeah.
Look, I understand what you're saying. You don't want to burn him out. You don't want to happen to Saka and he gets injuries at a young age. But let's be real. Rio's fresh. He's a young whippersnapper. Hasn't played even a third of the amount of potential minutes.
Yeah.
He could have played a hell of a lot more.
Yeah, 100%.
So, yeah, I'm worried. But people notice too. Other teams, fans of other teams, they are noticing like, dude, Rio looks like the real deal. They're nervous about him, and he's a kid that's barely playing. Seems like everybody sees it but Slot. The other result that I want to go over real quick was Sunderland and United. United looks like they were swapping out the front line, giving the bench players an opportunity to play, but it's a draw. It's all right. We secured a Champions League spot, which in the beginning of the season, after a couple games, seeing Amarin take this team where he did, nobody would have had us there.
No, dude, no way.
I'm thinking, 6 points clear, 2 games to go from Liverpool. I think we'll be fine. I think we're going to solidify that third place spot.
It will be cool to see United and all of its fans back up this ridiculous Bruno's the best in the world talk now that he actually has to start playing real teams. I think it's really rad that Carrick did this. It's like someone who played for the club to come back, become the new manager, do X, Y, and Z. That's super rad. Good for him. But surprising draw for me, dude. Honestly, I did not see this one coming, but I can't wait for you guys to get grouped next year.
At least we made it. We'll be able to attract bigger talent. I don't think we'll get grouped. It'll be good to finally be back there, dude, where we belong.
Easy, bud.
All right, next one. This game actually happened today. Spurs against Leeds. And Spurs had it, dude. And then, oh my gosh, the guy was trying to do a bicycle kick to clear a ball. I don't know why he just didn't backwards head it, but he did bicycle kick. Yeah. And then Tell caused the penalty, which ultimately tied the game. So I'm just like, dude, if they go down, Tell is going to be blamed single-handedly for that moment because it was a 1-1 draw.
He scored the goal too.
Yeah. Well, they have right now 2 wins in their last 5 games. They're not in the relegation zone anymore, but they're only 2 points ahead of West Ham. What's your prediction tell you, man? You think they're going down?
Ooh, it's getting a little tight, dude, you know?
I think they'll stay up.
I think they're gonna lose to Chelsea because Chelsea is just gonna have a new manager bounce. Tottenham may have new manager bounce too, but this Chelsea side's just a little bit better than them. And De Zerbi's still trying to work things out. It's gonna come down to the Everton game, man. That's my prediction.
And they're no pushover.
No, they're not at all, and I just don't know what's gonna happen there.
Dude, 2 draws, maybe?
2 draws, and then I think West Ham stays up.
You think they're gonna win out both games?
Their next games are Newcastle. That's a winnable game. Leeds is more of a dogfight than the Newcastle game.
Well, they both have nothing to play for at this point, right?
Yeah, so I mean, it's over. Seeing this Tottenham draw when they desperately needed a win, they had to have a win. This is going to give you some motivation because you see them going in to play Chelsea. You can say, no, we can do this. All Chelsea has to do is draw, and we just need to win. That's all they have to do.
Spurs have Madison back now, so it's a game changer.
We'll see, dude.
But honestly, dude, I like whatever happens, as bad as it sounds, I want Millwall and West Ham to be in the same division. So whether that's the championship or the Prem, like,
Yeah,
sorry, Spurs, I just
mean,
want to see those two play.
and Millwall got knocked out today in the semifinal, so
Did they really? I
2-0.
missed it.
Yeah, man, it was.
Well, then I want West Ham to go down.
Yeah, so I mean, that'd be cool. Spurs going down would be crazy, dude.
So if you had to bet money right now, are you going Spurs staying up or going down?
Staying up, just betting money right now.
All right. Next one, we'll just touch on real quick. City won against Brentford 3-0. It's another day at the office. And it keeps the pressure on Arsenal. Like we said at the beginning of this pod, Arsenal, as it stands, have 2 games left. City has 3 games left. This, again, was another controversial game, another controversial call against West Ham. I remember texting and being like, man, there they go. Arsenal's going. West Ham equalized, and then VAR chopped it off. But to be fair, after watching the VAR, obviously it
No.
should have gotten chopped off.
No,
Fernandez had a perfect opportunity to equalize, and he blew it.
that's one thing, dude. But I think the bigger issue is when one club has been doing exactly what happened in that goal that was disallowed. They've been doing exactly that all season and scoring from it. Nothing's been called. It's been, no, keep playing on. That's all good. And then as soon as it happens to them and there's some real consequence to it, it says, oh, no, this is a foul. This has always been a foul, guys. It's clear and obvious it's a foul. Like, what? What do you mean this has always been clear and obvious it's a foul? That's why everyone's set piece tactics have changed this season. It's because you're allowing people to do exactly this. You see the foul. He's coming down right on Raya. Like, okay, yeah, you see that image in of itself. That's a foul. Then you see an image of Gabriel literally pulling the West Ham player down onto Raya. And you see the Arsenal defender behind him pulling him down too. Okay, you're going to call that foul? What about these two right here? So it's a pen, right? It's a penalty. It just doesn't make any sense, man. This was gifted to Arsenal this season. They just played whatever kind of football they wanted and got away with it.
If I was a ref, everything would be a penalty. You even see Rice, who's supposed to be like a model of good, strong, noble, honorable player. Like, this guy's straight hugging the guy to drag him down. That stuff shouldn't be allowed because this isn't tackle football.
It's
You
not
just
rugby.
push off, try and run around, jump in the air. Whoever's got higher leaps, good for you. You worked that. You earned it. Not let me hold you down so you can't jump or smack your hand out like that. I would call everything. If I was a ref, that's a pen. That's a pen. There would be 8 pens every game, and it would be ugly, but it would make them stop. That's for sure. Because I'm sick of this.
You can't reward this, dude. This is not fun to watch. People want to see actual football being played, not this weird low block madness. Let's just play for set pieces. I'm going to body you. It's always cool to see the game advance, right? I like seeing everyone come from an offside position, move into the correct spots, and then they move on. That's cool to see, right? But again, when it's turning into a cuddle puddle, let's just stop it. This is madness.
I enjoy trick plays. I enjoy juking people out. That's fine. But just like you said, cuddle puddles are not quite my thing.
No,
Even your friend reached out, your friend Tristan, and he was like, yeah, I didn't know we were giving the title to a charity case of a team. Yeah. So it just goes to show, like, we're
They're
not the only ones that think this.
bad, dude. If everyone else was halfway decent this season, man, they just never had a shot. They're not a good football team. Sorry, Arsenal, you're not. they're going to win on maybe 85 points. You're not good.
All right, guys. Well, that's all we have time for today. If you like this video, go ahead and subscribe, leave a like, and drop your comments below. Let us know who you think is going to win the Champions League and the EPL title. All right, guys. We'll see you on the next episode of Tiki Talka.
Later.